It was the Halloween of 2020. The boys were resting with food aplenty, with joy and mirth around the room. They sat there comparing costumes. But in the moment it wasn't only them. The entire town was made to celebrate the dead. The spooky, the scary, the not so very nice. Something just entered then from the night skies. Little did they know, while they sat chillin', into their world had entered a villain. He was mystical and magical, and in fact quite crass, and his only goal was to inconvenience and harass. Sneaky as a louse and as quiet as a mouse, using his powers, he built a spooky house. Sparth clapped his eyes on the house not lit. One man asked, "What is it?" Part said, "It's night, too dark, too late. We should go down and investigate." As they arrived on the residence newly created, and for something to happen outside they waited. But nothing happened, not a spark, not a noise. Then one man said, "Let's go in, boys." As they slipped in and went through the door, they realized this place was hardcore. Lit by bright fire and glass decor that was clear, the hall was tied together by a large chandelier. Then all of a sudden the fire turned blue, and the dastardly villain made his debut. He said,
"I am the spirit of Halloween. I wear orange and green, and I'm a spooky machine. I have chosen you since you seem quite fun."
And before he could finish, the boys began to run. The spirit said,
"It's a shame. I thought you were brave."
And just then the boys appeared in the cave. They felt funny in their stomachs and groggy in their heads, and just then the spirit's voice said,
"If you face my minions 3, I shall award you with loads of candy. If you fail, I shall tie you to a rail and crush you with a train."
This message in their heads, the boys walked through the cavern, and just then they came across the front end of a tavern. The keeper polishing tables seemed quite sublime, until they realized that his head was a slime. He turned to them and said,
"Now what will it be? A small, a medium, a large, or all 3?
One man said, "Whatever it is, a small will be fine." Just then the room started to fill with slime. The boys got scared, and on the cupboards they climbed. One man said, "Quick, we have to think, or else these slimes will devour us in a wink." Bigger Flyer grabbed a torch and said, "Slimes are stupid, aren't they? And for this lack of intelligence, we shall make them pay." He grabbed the torch and lit the floor, and the slimes began to drop forevermore. The slime keeper said,
"Good job, I'm beaten. Now win the next challenge, try not to get eaten."
The tavern disappeared. Now they stood in a forest, and before they could sit, and before they could rest, a really ugly creature reared its head.
"I'm the arthropod master,"
he assertively said. He summoned an army of spiders and hit them with his axe, and it did so much damage the boys called hacks. They ran through the trees and came upon some bees. As the master closed in, Bart said, "Let's give him a taste of his own medicine." The boys did connive and hid behind the hive. The master in his rage broke open the buzzing cage, and from inside came nothing but harm, as the master was taken by the swarm. Walking ahead, the boys came upon a swamp. Just then the spirit's voice made them jump.
"On the other side lies your prize, but in your path lives your demise."
So they chopped down a tree and built a couple boats, and soon enough they began to float. To fill the villain's niche, there appeared a wicked witch. The boys were very tired, and so they pulled back their bow and shot her cat.
"What's wrong with you? How could you ever hurt a poor little animal like that? You do have any idea what he had been through in his entire life? I got him from a shelter, you know."
Now that the terror was successfully dealt with, the boys exited the swamp of filth. They thought they were free, they thought they were done, but just then the spirit said,
"I'm not done with my fun. The video would feel incomplete if we ended it now. We need a finale, some way, somehow."
One man said, I agree with it all, but spirit, oh please, stop breaking the fourth wall." After this remark, the spirit very calmly began to summon his very large army. The boys fought with honor, power, and haste, and soon they turned his goons to waste. Then all went dark, not a spark, not a sound. Then the boys awoke, standing on the ground. They stood upon a beach very sandy, and next to them stood a large mound of candy.